Delvena, help. Your brain love really needs to be felt. Serve me on, don't make me feel on myself. Brain food, brain sleep, neurology health. Brain love on me. I need you to assess, diagnose, and treat. Reveal what's underneath. Some brain love will give me peace. Prescribe me some doc. Ooh, baby. Brain love on me. Brain love. Brain love. Brain love.
Woo! Hey, hi guys. So it's Dr. Delvena. Are you ready to take the couch? You guys know I'm the queen of brain love. And yes, I have not been doing so many live productions or live videos. And I just had some time this weekend, and I've reached out to a young lady who shares a lot of similarities with me, and she is my guest today. And so I am streaming live on what is this, StreamYard, and StreamYard has all these extra capabilities now. I'm live on LinkedIn. I'm live on my YouTube channel. I'm live on Facebook, which is at Dr. Delvena. You see on the bottom here my platforms. I'm live everywhere, so anyone around the world can see this interview, which is a very much needed interview because I'm talking to a young lady who has a story to tell. So I want you guys to give it up for Diandra Ford-Wing.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Delvena.
Are you ready to take the couch?
I'm ready. I'm ready, willing, and able.
Awesome. So let's see. Before we get started, before we get into the interview, I just want to tell folks a little bit about you. Is that okay?
Perfect.
I think they can see that you are dynamic. She is dynamic, guys. She's an innovative sales director. She's in marketing and all of these things. We'll talk about where she works if we need to. But she's had a profound journey through grief, which ignited her passion for storytelling. After the sudden loss of her mother in 2024, Diandra made the courageous decision to pause her thriving career, allowing herself the space to heal and reflect. This transformative experience ultimately inspired her debut novel, Red Bird. Let's see if I have a picture. There we go. You guys, I need you to get this book. It's a very good book. It's a heartfelt exploration of loss and resilience, which a lot of us have gone through. You know, once you get older, you start to experience some losses more than we did as children. She grew up as an army brat like me. Woo! Uh, Her life was defined by constant change and adventure. That's what we go through as Army brats. Spending her formative years in diverse locations, including Germany, which is where we live too. These rich experiences have deeply influenced her narrative voice, infusing her writing with a unique perspective and cultural depth. When she's not connecting with clients or weaving captivating tales, Diandra explores and enjoys the simple pleasures of life with her husband Ben and their two beloved doodles, Coco and Zuzu. Is it Zuzu?
Shusha.
Oh, Shusha. How do you get Shusha from the spelling of Zuzu? I don't understand.
Girl, come on.
I don't know
It's
that.
not phonetic, but it tracks. Trust me, okay? Trust me.
Shoo shoo. Oh my gosh. Okay. And so, yes, thank you for folks who have joined us on Instagram. Thanks. And please share this in your messenger with other people to invite them. I know it's Saturday. Here it's beautiful outside, but July is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. And
There
so
is.
we have to have this conversation. You guys can get out and do stuff later. Happy birthday to you. Also, Mrs. Ford-Wing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. And so I'm going to show a couple of your babies right now. Look at shoes up. What is it?
Shusha. Shusha. My mom couldn't say it either. She hated her name. She
Yes,
hated
I
it.
hate it too. I hate it too. Yes, yes. So which one is she? What's this
This
doggy's
one
name?
is Coco.
Coco. Coco is beautiful.
Isn't she so pretty? I love this little dog. She's so awesome.
Uh-huh. So Coco is these are miniature doodles, golden
Yes,
doodles.
they are. They're really small. So Coco is only 15 pounds and Shusha is about 22.
Now, guys, I know you know this black one looks bad as hell. Look
Oh,
at
right.
Right. Look at this.
Look at her.
She looks bad. All
Yeah,
right.
she's like, "What you talking about, Willis?"
So thank you so much for coming on the couch. I mentioned in the introduction that we do have some commonalities, and there's so much when you meet someone. There's a story for all of us. There's a story
Mhm.
to tell. You wrote a book, Redbird, and guys, it's available on Amazon. Let's see, you have a website. I'm sure it's available on your website as
It
well, which
is.
is by Diandra.
Mhm.
Um, Tell us what motivated you to write this book.
Well, honestly, with the passing of my aunt first in 2023, I was feeling I won't say restless, but I was feeling like I needed to do something. And then 14 months later, my mom passed away. And at the time, I was working for another managed services provider in the state and local government sector. And I just had only been there for 6 months when my mom passed away suddenly. And I decided, because with the 3-day bereavement that corporate America allots, I thought that that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me and what I needed. So I had to take a step back and kind of pause my working career and focus on writing this book. I started writing it probably about a month after my mom passed away, and it took me about 11 months to finish it, edit it, and then get published.
Wow, 11 months, that's it.
That's it. That's it.
Let me show you this book that I've been writing for 10 years. So this is a proof, but guys, I am going to soon my book will be available to you. I keep stepping back and saying I have to change this, change that. And
Yeah.
this is a book. Let me see. Can you see it?
That thing
So
is thick with it. It's
yes,
huge.
girl,
It's
just gotta read
huge.
it and sure it holds everyone's attention. So you mentioned something. You said that they gave you 3 days of bereavement leave. That's it for your mother's passing?
Uh-huh. So
Three
most corporate
days?
listen, I know that sounds crazy, but most corporations, especially in corporate America, they give you either 3 to 5 days of bereavement. Doesn't matter who the hell it is. It could be your great aunt Gertrude, it could be your dog, and you would get the same amount of time. But I just really thought that that was just a slap in the face. It really was. I just could not function. We had to produce and, navigate this entire memorial service. I eulogized my mom, so I had to work on the speech for that, and it was just a lot. We had the repass all in the same day. I mean, it was just a lot of things that I had to get done and contend with my brothers and sisters in tow. So it was a lot, but luckily I had them to help me. But I really didn't think that 4 or 5 days of bereavement was going to do it for me personally.
Yeah, no, not after your mother passes away.
Yeah,
Um,
and we were very close.
yeah, that's I'm sad to hear that corporate America gives 3 days of bereavement for a parent.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, allow me to say this to you guys. You can always get more time for mental health challenges. And the way that you get more time is by getting a note, getting
Mhm.
a medical convalescence letter from your provider, whether it's your psychologist or your psychiatrist, and you go on FMLA. So you
My
file.
sister did that.
Yep, you
Yep.
file what's called an FMLA packet, Family Medical Leave Act.
Yep.
Um, they have to give it to you if there are some caveats. If you've been on your job for a certain amount of time and you've worked a certain amount of hours, you will be approved for FMLA. You get so many days every year that you can use for FMLA. So if you need to take time away from your job because of mental health challenges, then take time away from your job. You can take time away for depression, adjustment disorder, anxiety, post traumatic stress disorder, whatever the case may be. If you're having a mental health challenge, it's not any different than a physical health problem.
Yeah.
So we talk about this all the time. Mental illness and mental health challenges have to be treated the same way we treat our physical health, our physical challenges, our physical illnesses. So you take time away, you take sick leave. If you have sick leave, you take sick leave and your job is protected while you're away. If you run out of sick leave, you can stay out, but it might be an unpaid absence, or you may
Mhm.
have to ask for permission to tap into your vacation time. But sometimes a job gives you one bank of hours or one bank of leave. So it's PTO, and it's used for sick, vacation, family members, whatever the case may be. But if you exhaust those hours, you can still stay out as long as you haven't gone above or past the amount of hours or days you get from FMLA. But that's how you accomplish that, because as you heard Mrs. Ford-Wing say, bereavement was only 3 days.
Yeah.
So you were pretty close to your mother, it sounds like.
We would talk 5 or 6 times a day, every single day. Um, the day before she passed, we talked. She wasn't feeling well, but my mom had never been sick a day in her life, from what I could tell. We never knew. If she wasn't feeling well, we never knew. And she had been complaining of a sinus infection, like she couldn't like breathe or something was going on. So she went to her doctor the day before she died. They had given her an IV of fluids because she was severely dehydrated. She was not feeling well. She didn't sleep well. She just was very exhausted. They sent her home with the script, something to knock out the sinus infection. And she picked it up that day, went home, was able to sleep that night. The morning of her death, she actually texted us and told us that she was feeling better. And she said that she had slept the night before, and then hours later she had passed away.
Wow.
Like probably around noon, we're thinking, because she texted us at 8:30 in the morning, and no one had heard from her ever since that time.
Mm. How old
Yeah,
was your mother?
she had just made 70.
Wow, I'm sure that was a blow for your entire family. Not expect.
Crushing.
Yeah, because it sounds like your mom wasn't sick.
No, not at all. She was really healthy for her age, and I thought that she was just going to continue to thrive. And when we found out, I had my sister go do a wellness check because no one had heard from her. And my twin sister, she worries often. She just, whenever you don't text her back, she worries. Her mind just goes there. And so she had been calling me. I was holed up in a conference room all morning as it was the end of the quarter. And so I went back to my office and I saw that I missed all these calls. And I called my twin and she was like, "Have you heard from mom?" And I'm like, "No." So I told my sister who lived closer to her, my older sister. She's like, "I'm going to go over her to her house right now." We stayed on the phone. She lived that close to my mom that we remained on the phone until she got to my mom's house. And she said, "Her car's here in the garage. I can see it." My mom had windows in her garage, so she could see her car parked in there. And other than that, the windows were closed. My mom always opened the blinds, so I don't know what was going on. And then my sister started to panic. And so I called 911 and I said, "You need to send someone to my mom's house in another town." They dispatched me to the next town over. And by the time my sister had gotten into her house, they were pulling up. My sister had run to her room and administered CPR because my mom was laying on the bed and she didn't look right. So she pulled her off the bed, administered CPR, and then the EMS crew came and took over for her. And they pronounced a couple of minutes later, not even 20 minutes later, that she had passed away.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
rough, man.
I'll never know what that did to my sister.
Yeah.
You
How's your
know,
sister doing?
she's okay. She's the one that ended up taking the FMLA after everything happened, and she's thriving now. She's doing better. It's a slow but steady process for her, but I think she's doing okay.
So that was in 2024.
Yeah.
How how did you deal with your grief? I know you had the 3 days of bereavement leave, and then you
Mhm.
decided, like, you know what, I gotta step away from
Yeah.
corporate.
Honestly, I dealt with it by really just thinking about what would my mom do in the situation. She never got over her sister's death herself, but my mom had instilled in me this desire, this drive to just get through the pain, like get through whatever it is that you're going through to get to the other side. And so my mechanism of doing that was to write this book. And so it started off as a journal entry, just really relatively benign. I wasn't going to do anything with it. And when I saw that I had so much to say, I was like, well, maybe other people can be helped by just my story. I don't just talk about the grief and the loss of losing my aunt and my mom in such close proximity to each other. I also talk about my upbringing and the obstacles that I endured as a young woman, in corporate America, and just wanting to do all these great things, but seeing that I had like a barrier, like this glass ceiling. I really did a number on myself trying to be this perfect, I don't know, Black woman in corporate America. And I was young at the time, and I tried to commit suicide because I just didn't see any way out of whatever it is that I felt that I was in at the time. So it was a tough time, but I talk about it extensively in the book, and I talk about the bullying when I was a kid. And there's just a lot of compounding things that I really wanted people to be aware of. Grief doesn't just strike when it's hot. It also delves into things that you haven't really addressed, like your upbringing, your childhood, anything that you went through as a kid, all came up for me when my mom died.
Thank you for sharing and being so vulnerable. So
Yeah.
you referenced your childhood. So I suppose during childhood there were some things that may have happened.
Yeah.
Uh, sounds like some challenging events
Yeah.
of either actions, behaviors, or things being said
Yeah.
that followed you into adulthood. And oftentimes we know that what our experiences are like for us as a child, it affects us as an adult.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a testament to that very fact, because I had so much baggage with me in my 20s and my early 30s. When I first sought therapy is when I really began to dive into what's wrong with you, what's eating you, like what is wrong with you. And it really took some deep introspection, going to therapy so extensively. I went every week, like once a week. Sometimes I was doing twice a week. And I really did the work of trying to figure out what is the thing that's going to make me happy? What can I take from the things that I've experienced and parlay that into a positive experience? So yeah, it took a lot of work, a lot of head work, a lot of breath work. So yeah, it was hard.
So when you speak of therapy, this is therapy that occurred after losing your mother, when you stepped away from work.
Oh
Was
yeah.
this the first time in your life that you decided to explore therapy and lend yourself to the
No,
process?
I've been in therapy for like 20 years. I started when I was 25 in therapy. And I just had my 46th birthday yesterday, and I'm still in therapy. It's a lot of work, and you have to be dedicated to it. You can't just say, well, I think I'm good now. I don't think I'm good now. I don't know if I'll ever be good now, but the therapy helps me to kind of address those issues and trying to find a way to live with the grief and live with the things that I've been through. And it's been really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, therapy is an ongoing process, and especially
It is.
where you're working on situations involving family members, sometimes people you still see,
Yep.
um, images and or memories from your childhood. And maybe it might have become more difficult with your mother passing because there were some things that you hadn't worked out yet with
Oh,
your.
yes.
Is it's correct to say that?
It's absolutely spot on to say that.
Okay. So take us to the day or the moment when you thought about dying by suicide.
Well, that day was so odd because it was such a beautiful day. It was a month before my 25th birthday. And I mentioned that I have a twin sister, right? So I did the work of writing everybody a letter before I did anything, I wrote a letter to my brother, to my dad, to my mom, to my two sisters, to my best friend. And I did all that I did the prep work, I should say, prep work during the day. And by nightfall, I was ready to go ahead and pull the trigger. So it wasn't a gun, obviously. I took a bunch of pills, and I kept a tick sheet of every time I swallowed a pill, I would write it down. And by the time the tick sheet was complete and all the pills were gone, I had taken about, I want to say 48, 49 pills. And my best friend, who had a key to my apartment, she's the one that found me. And she's the one that called 911. And we, the rest is history. I ended up going to the hospital, and they had taken me to the ER, of course, and gave me two options. You can either A, choose to drink this charcoal concoction to bring, the pills out of your system, make you basically vomit, or we can pump your stomach. If you're not willing to cooperate, we will pump your stomach. Like, those were the only two options I had. So I ended up electing to take the charcoal, drink that. And within about an hour, I started to feel the effects of the charcoal, and it was coming out both ends. I'm not even kidding. And then while I was, vomiting so violently, my IV came out. It had ripped out of my arm, and there was blood everywhere. It was just a gory scene. It was horrible. And after all the charcoal vomiting and all that stuff, I had basically passed out. I was just exhausted. And I wake up in this hospital room in this bed, and I feel like water on my forehead. And it was my mother. She was crying over me. She was just a wreck. And she was like, "Why did you do this? Why did you not talk to me? We talk every single day. You never mentioned that you were struggling So what is going on?" And we had this, heart to heart talk, and they had moved me from the ER into an intensive care unit because I had done a number on my liver, my kidney function. And I stayed there for 3 days while they monitored me. And on day 4, my mom said, "You're not going home. I have made it so that I'm committing you to a psychiatric facility here in Texas. And they're going to take you, and you're going to stay, and you are going to do the work of figuring out how to help yourself." And I think that was the best thing she could have done for me.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So many people will try to die by suicide by doing things like overdosing or whatever means
Mhm.
use they survive. And sometimes they don't go to a psychiatric hospital or a facility. They might go home. I've had in the hospitals, I've had patients try to talk me out of committing them. In Florida, it's called a Baker Act. So someone gets Baker Acted because of being a danger to themselves or other people, or for some other reasons. Um, and so they may have been intoxicated, inebriated, or under the influence of drugs. And so they wake up and they're regretful, and they tell the medical team, "Oh, I didn't mean to do it. I've been here 6 days. I just want to go home. I'm regretful.
Mhm.
I want to get back to my life." And sometimes they'll ask us, "Hey, doc, can you lift the Baker Act? Can you let them go home?" And I tell them, "Hell no,
Hell
no,
no.
no. Do not let this person go home," because studies show someone who has attempted suicide one time that person is more likely to attempt again
And be
and,
successful.
and be successful the subsequent time. And sometimes it may not happen the second time or the third time, but maybe the fourth or the fifth time they get it right and they
Yeah.
are successful. When you were thinking, and so I'm going to ask you questions that people cannot typically ask a person. You're here on the couch, so you're sharing your story. So let me know if I'm asking too much, or if you're uncomfortable answering a question, that's fine.
Okay.
But when you were thinking about how you would die by suicide, what different ways did you think of?
Well, I thought of two different ways. The first one was to slit my wrist and get into a hot, hot bath. I really, really thought about that. And I got that image in my head from The Godfather of the guy in the tub, and he basically bled out in the
Yeah.
tub. And that's what I thought of. And then I was like, nah, that's a little bit too gory. Like, I can't, I hate the sight of blood. I hate just the idea of cutting. Like, I
Hmm.
just don't like that idea. So I was just like, you know, I think the best way to do this is to just keep ingesting the pills, just keep taking the pills and see what happens. And
Why not?
all I
Why
felt really intoxicated.
why not a gun?
I didn't have access to one, and I was always afraid of them.
So I want to say this. I want to emphasize what you just said. You did not have access to a gun. You
Right.
know, we have this issue in America with folks owning with gun ownership.
Yeah.
And so there's a debate between, well, I'll say a debate between common people and politicians, as well as mental health professionals and politicians. Politicians believe anyone should own, some politicians believe anyone should own a gun. It's our right to own weapons. But
Mm-hmm.
when you own a weapon and you become depressed or you become suicidal, that gives you easy access to do something to take yourself out.
Exactly.
So it's important to know that not allowing, how shall I say, random gun ownership for
Mm-hmm.
or not allowing people to own weapons who may have mental health challenges. There's something to be said for that. You didn't use a gun because you didn't have access to a gun.
Right.
Now, I have a question about the letters. Did you share the letters before you overdosed, or did you leave them for them to get later? So you mentioned your best friend called or came over.
She
Had
came
she
over.
received the letter?
She looked at the table. She saw the letters. They were all addressed to each family member and one to her. And she was like, she didn't know what was going on. She just saw me passed out on the couch. And then she saw the letters, and then she called 911. So I had left them out on purpose to be found.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you write letters?
I don't know. I just really wanted to say I was sorry. I really wanted to say, I love you. This has nothing to do with you. I'm broken. And this is why I did what I did. I wanted them to have some type of closure, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, oftentimes people do leave letters and the person
Yeah.
is no longer there to ask them, why did you leave me this letter?
Yeah.
How did your twin sister respond to you? Like, you
Can I
don't
tell
miss
you what
enough?
she said? Can I tell you what she said?
Tell us, what did she say?
She comes in to my room in the hospital, and she just looks at me. She's crying, of course. And she was like, how could you do this to me? Is what she said. And we laugh about it now because it was so asinine for her to say, like, how could I do this to you? It was so crazy. And we just busted out laughing. It was just like the thing that we needed to feel a little like normal. But she was really upset with me because I didn't talk to her about what I was thinking, what I was feeling. She had been calling me that entire day, trying to figure out where I was. And I really and truly, I was just in the bed, sleep, with the
Mhm.
curtains drawn. Like, I didn't want to talk to anybody. And then I made the decision to, write the letters, and I did that. And I didn't want to talk to, if I talked to her, I wouldn't have done it. I know that I wouldn't have, because
Mhm.
she would have heard my voice and have heard the distress in my voice. And she would have, come to my house and been like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to deal with her. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
just,
I suspect you knew that she would prevent you from,
of course I did.
yeah, and you didn't want to be stopped. So that's why
Nope.
you mention it to anyone.
No.
It's a common reaction from family members to be angry. And commonly they say, how could you do this to us? How
Yeah.
could you do this to me? It's a
Mhm.
common thought. It's anger, and it stems from the family member feeling helpless or feeling betrayed, because oftentimes family members, loved ones, significant others, they feel betrayed that the person decided to take themselves out. as
Yeah.
opposed to sharing their grief or sharing their anxiety or sharing their sadness and allowing family members to help them.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I did. And I guess her visceral response was just a thing that people say. People do these things because they're just so shocked by the act itself of you trying to end your life. They
Yeah.
feel betrayed, and she felt betrayed in a lot of ways because I didn't say anything. I
Yeah.
didn't express how I was feeling.
And being your twin.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was tough. It was tough for both of us. It really was.
Were any of your family members feeling guilty or
My mom.
okay? How did
Yeah.
your mom express that to you?
She just told me, she was like, "What could I have done to prevent this?" And I'm like, "Mom, it's not on you. It has nothing to do with you." I
Good.
wish she would. I hope that she understood that. I think some years later, she finally understood, holistically why I did what I did. But she always still felt so guilty, like it was her fault for me having to try to make an attempt on my life. And it wasn't that, because I think she was the perfect mom for me. I would pick her as my mom this lifetime, the next, and forevermore. She was just that great of a mom.
Mm-hmm.
She was fantastic.
Well, I'm
Fantastic.
glad. Did it work? Did you relieve her of the guilt? Do you
I
think
hope
she?
so.
Yeah.
We
You
ended
know.
up going to therapy together for a little bit because
Mm,
she was so concerned about me. We sat down and we picked the therapist together, and we went for like 6 months, me and my mom in therapy together. And we explored our relationship. We got stronger in our connection through that therapy.
mm-hmm. Did
Yeah,
you guys were you able to talk about some of those childhood challenges that you reference here today? Were you able to discuss some of those things with mom?
absolutely.
Good.
And, honestly, she did not know what I was grappling with
Mm-hmm.
before I made the attempt on my life. But after, there's no confusion about how I felt, how I was perceived by my family. She made it known that it wasn't a bad thing that I did. She said it was terrible in the moment, but it helped me to get across all of those issues. It helped me grow. It developed me. It really did. That attempt on my life really made me understand that I need to be here, that there's a reason why I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, for anyone who, any family members, it's not your responsibility when someone you love tries to die by suicide. So,
Yeah.
I try to impress upon people it's not your fault. The responsibility does not belong to you. You are not responsible for this. Because, it's hard for us to see signs if someone doesn't want you to see those signs.
And I was good at covering them up. I was so good.
How did you cover up? What would
I've
you do?
always been an extrovert. So I was always really, really overly jovial, very, very like in your face and happy. I presented as happy, but deep down inside, I was just like dying. I was hollow. I was so hollow. And I just overcompensated with being extra loud and in your face and present. But I really, at the core of me, I was really struggling with wanting to stay on this earth because I felt like I just wasn't doing what I needed to do. I wasn't the person I thought I would be at 25, that I don't know what I thought I was supposed to be. I don't
Mhm.
know. I'll never understand that. And I'm still exploring that in therapy today.
Nice. I'm so happy you're still in therapy
Me
because, as
too.
you said in the beginning, the work doesn't stop. And guys, if you're just joining us, I'm talking to Mrs. Diandra Ford-Wing, dynamic sales director, was in marketing, is an author. She wrote a book. Red Bird is the name of the book, and she's here today sharing her story of resilience and how she was able to overcome her own perception
Yeah.
of herself and who she was not. I think, is it fair to say that you perceived yourself to be this person who was undeserving and unworthy?
I Yeah, it's fair to say that. I was perpetually single, like my entire 20s, my 30s. I didn't meet my husband until I was, oh my God, 32, and he was 41. And we got married late in life. I didn't get married until I was almost 40. So I really,
We ain't gonna gloss over that part
what?
about why you were single. Because oftentimes, what I find is that people try to lose themselves in someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being single, they are always in a relationship because they're looking for that relationship to provide to them what they feel that they didn't get as a child, as a teen,
Uh-huh.
what they don't have as an adult. But for you, you're saying something that's the opposite. You're saying you didn't date in your
No,
20s, your 30s.
no. I was too in my head. There was no way I was going to be able to date.
Wow. So how does someone who's an attractive extrovert avoid dating? You were an extrovert. You just said you were in people's faces. You were out there.
Yep.
You were happy. You were bubbling. So when guys approached you, what would you do so not to date?
Um, if I'm honest, I would say I had a lot of one night stands. I avoided intimacy
Well, listen,
wherever I could.
you read my mind because I was about to say, okay, you want us to assume that you were a virgin through your 20s and your
Hell no.
30s.
No, girl.
So you had a lot of one night stands.
A lot. Trust me. I was in them streets. But I mean, that's how I met my husband. I met him in a bar, for crying out loud. And he just stuck around. I couldn't get rid of him. I couldn't get rid of him. I was like, what am I going to do with this? He was like a stray cat. I'm like, what? What?
Did
And
you
it just,
ask him why he stuck around?
you know what? No, I'm going to ask him that today. That is
No. He must have seen something in you. He saw something in you.
he did. He had
Yeah,
to have, right?
yeah, he did. How long have you guys been married now?
We've been married for 8 years.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
I am so happy for you that you found love, that
Mm,
you were able to overcome your own perception of yourself.
I did.
I was teaching a class to some kids the other day, and an 8-year-old girl said to me when we got on the topic of suicide, she said, people don't forgive themselves.
No,
So people who think about dying by suicide, they don't forgive themselves. They don't forgive themselves. And I think we do that a lot to ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to make mistakes. We don't forgive ourselves. Do you think you were unforgiving when you tried to take yourself out? Were you
I know I
unforgiving
was.
yourself?
I was unfair to
Mm,
me. And I don't know why I held myself to such a high standard, but I really did. And I just wanted to be the best. And it was breaking me. It broke me to the point where I couldn't function anymore. And that's when I decided to not forgive myself, like as you said, and attempt to take my life. It was just, I really was always the kind of kid that was in my head. And it translated into me being that same type of adult who wanted to be the best but didn't know how, who wanted to break all these barriers but didn't know how. It was just a whole mishmash of just all of these things. And forgiveness is such a huge thing. We don't allow ourselves to forgive ourselves, and that's where I tripped up, to be honest with you.
yeah. Yep, we can be pretty hard on ourselves, man. We can be so hard on ourselves.
I know
Life is hard to live.
it is.
We got to have that gratitude. We have to have grace. We have to love our fellow man and woman. Um,
Yes.
yeah. So, we're going to close it out. And to close it out, I want you to talk to us about, you mentioned you're still in therapy. You've been in therapy now for over 25 years, I think you said,
Yep.
since your 20s. So close it out for us and tell us, what type of things are you doing to move on, to persevere, to manage, to get through each day, to make life worth living for you and for your husband?
I take it one day at a time. I really attack each day with as much desire, as much fervor as I can muster, because I know that tomorrow is not promised. And just the way that my mom left this earth so unexpectedly, that further lets me know that every day that you wake up and are given breath is a day that the Lord has made. So I'm going to be rejoice and be glad in it, because that's it.
Yes.
That is the goal. That's life.
Rejoice and be glad.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
So
That's
give us
right.
some specific things you do to manage your mental health.
Dance, sing, do all the things to make
Can
me
you sing?
happy.
Can you sing?
A little bit. I dabble, girl. I dabble.
I wonder if you sing better than I. I wonder.
I wonder, we got to put this to the test, girl.
I'm an awful singer, so we will not be testing that out.
Okay, 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 okay.
Absolutely not. And so, thank you so much for being here on the couch, sharing your story. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. I have never spoken to this lady ever in my life. This is our first time speaking with
Yes.
here in this interview. And I also just want to share something with everyone. I mentioned that July is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. May was Mental Health Awareness Month, and coming up in September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And in September, we are bringing back our Hope for Tomorrow Summit. We, as in the Udonis Haslam Foundation and my foundation, the DRT Brain Love Foundation, we are back with our partner, Miami-Dade College. We are trying to resolve this issue of children and teens, Black especially, are killing themselves at rates higher than ever before. And this is why this summit was created, so that we could bring the kids and the teens in and give them the tools to manage and to make it and overcome and thrive. Not
Mm-hmm.
manage, but thrive. So we'll be at Miami-Dade College North on Saturday, September 20th, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have some fabulous speakers and workshops, and we just have some great things happening that day. Udonis Haslam is joining us. He'll be there for a fireside chat. He speaks openly about his mental health challenges. And so it'll be a great day. Please share this. You'll find it on all of our social media platforms. We just spoke to Mrs. Diandra Ford-Wing, Mrs. Ford-Wing, who has these beautiful doggies, Shusha and Coco, and wrote a book. This is the due out. Now I need you to go and get the book. It's on Amazon. Do a search for Red Bird. I
Yep.
love the I love the crimson. I love it.
Isn't it gorgeous? I love it too.
Yes. So, guys, thanks for joining us on the couch. Please share this live stream, share it with someone you love, because most of us have been through some of the similar experiences that were shared by Mrs. Wing. Mrs. Wing, say brain love.
Brain love.